and today I'm going to talk to you. Hi, my name is Pam Cole, and today I'm going to talk to you about telling time. In the North Carolina Standard Courses study for 3rd grade, Goal 2, time is discussed. Actually, it's elapsed time. That's how much time elapses between one activity and another. Let's say you want to go to school. You get on the bus at 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh no, I don't guess you could do that if school starts at 8 o'clock. You might want to get on the bus at 6. And then you arrive at school at, I don't know, 8 o'clock. How long were you on the bus? That's pretty easy. You were there, what, 2 hours? Well, we might make that a little harder. So let's take a look. There are two kinds of clocks that you can use. There's an analog clock and a digital clock. An analog clock has the hands and a digital clock just the numbers. With an analog clock, you have a short hand and a long hand. Remember, the little guy always comes first. You can remember it too because H comes before M in the alphabet. So, the little word, hour, comes before the big word, minute. So, little guy before big guy for the analog clock. So when you read the analog clock, you read the hour before the minutes. You read the digital clock the same way, the hour before the minutes. For this one, 12:45. Okay, now let's move on to our elapsed time. There's 3 steps to elapsed time, 3 things you need to know. The first part for elapsed time, you need to know your start time, your end time, and then the last thing you'll need is your elapsed time, the time that elapses between the start and the end time. You might not know all 3 things when you start, but if you know at least 2 parts, then you'll be able to solve the final part. It's kind of like a math problem, an algebra problem if you want to. Okay, so for our first problem, we're going to find the start time. Here's our example. John spent 2 hours and 10 minutes studying. He finished at 5:40. What time did he begin studying? For our first step, what information do you have and what do you need? Well, do we have our start time? We don't have that, but we have our end time. That's 5:40. And the time that elapsed, 2 hours and 10 minutes. So we count 10 minutes backwards from 5:40 minus the 10 minutes is 5:30. And for our third step, we count 2 hours back from 5:30 and we get 3:30. So the start time is 3:30. Now, for the next problem, we want to find the end time. Our example says the movie begins at 1:20. Now, it runs for 1 hour and 30 minutes. What time will the movie end? For the first step, we look at one information that we have and what do we need? We have our start time, but in this problem we don't have our end time. But we have the time that elapsed or the time that the movie ran. For the second step, we count 30 minutes forward from 1:20 and we add the 30 minutes to 1:50. Then for step 3, we count 1 hour forward from 1:50 and add the hour to 2:50. So the end time is 2 hours and 50 minutes. Finally, to solve elapsed time, here's our example. Ashley begins painting her room at 4:45. She finishes at 6:10. How long did she paint? What information do we have and what do we need? The start time is 4:45, the end time is 6:10. How much time elapsed? Count the minutes forward from 45 minutes to 10 minutes. And step 3, count the hours forward from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. 2 hours minus 1 hour equals 1 hour. The elapsed time is 1 hour and 25 minutes. When the student begins, you'll want to start with a clock like this so that you can visually show the student the best way to advance on time. If you can move ahead by 1 hour, let's say we got on the bus at 6 o'clock and got to school at 8 o'clock, then you can show the student hour by hour the time that advanced in hours, counting ahead by hours. 1 starting here, 1 hour, 2 hours, this being the O clock. Always reminding the student that when the minute hand is on the 6, that's a half hour. Keeping in mind that a clock can be divided into quarters, here, 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 and here, so that you can teach your students to count by the quarters also. Quarter till, and a quarter after, and count this as half. These are other ways that a student can read time. Some students get confused with elapsed time, but if you teach the student starting with a visual such as the Judy clock or another visual aid, it really helps the student. Also included in my Wix are several online sites that will help your student to practice and to play games for more fun interaction. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this lesson.